Hello class 7 students. So today we are going to start another chapter from your grammar book, that is chapter number 9, verbs, finite and non-finite. So it is a very important topic and a very easy topic also. So let's see. So I think all of you know what is verb. Yeah, we have got in chapter number 6, 7, 8 about verb, that a verb is a word that indicate an action, event or state in a sentence. So we are clear about that, right? So a verb is an action verb that indicates an action, event or state in a sentence, and it may change form to express tense. So verb can change their form. It can change to a present tense to express present form, right? It may change to past tense to change past form. So like that. So, but there are some verb forms that function as verb and may also act as noun or modifier. So this is important. So there are some verbs are there, okay, which basically which function as a verb, but they may also work as a noun or modifier in a sentence. So these are the finite and non-finite form function of a verb. So these are finite and non-finite. So today in this chapter we will learn about finite and non-finite form of the or function of the verb. Okay, let's see. So let's see what is finite verb. Finite verbs are the main verb of a sentence. So finite and non-finite two functions of verb are there, okay? So first of all we will read about finite verb. So finite verbs are the main verbs in a sentence. The main verbs are called finite verb. Why they are main verb? Because they can change their form to agree with the person or number of subject. If suppose singular subject is there, then we can use singular verb. If plural subject is there, then we can use plural verb, like that. And it can show tense also. So we can change those verb into present, past and future tense. So those verb which can change their tense, which agree according to their person or number of the subject, those verb are called finite verb. So see the example here. I go to the gym. I'm going to the gym right now. So here I go to the gym. Go, it is agreeing with the number. So single here we cannot use es or s. So that's why go. I'm going, it is changing its tense into present continuous. So this go, it can change its tense. So it is finite verb. Hema goes to the gym. So Hema is a singular person. It is a name of the person given here. So with that we have to use es. Okay, I have already given you the format of I, we, you, they, with which we can use s, with which we cannot use ses. He, she, it and singular name, with which we can use s and es. So this one follows that formula. Okay, then she is going to the gym right now. So here this going is changing its tense to present continuous. So it is finite verb. So this go in this three sentence, go is used as a finite verb because it is changing its tense also, and it is agreeing with the number of agreeing with the number of the subject and person. Okay, so let's see number A. You have to underline the finite verb in this sentence. Underline the finite verb, the verb which change their tense, where you get es, s. So those are finite verb. Like we found a nice camping site. So found, find, it is the past tense of find. It can change its tense, it means it is finite verb. The clowns are dancing to entertain us. So are dancing, it is changing its tense, it means it is finite verb. I'm helping my father pack for the journey. So am helping, it is changing its tense. So helping here, am helping is finite verb. So in this way we try to do the rest. So finite verb is very easy. The main verb in a sentence are called finite verb. So you have to learn more about non-finite. There are certain parts are there of non-finites which is important for you to know. So let's see what is non-finite verb. So non-finite verb are verbs that do not show tense nor they change with the person or number of the subject. So non-finite is the a total opposite of finite. Like finite can change their tense, non-finite cannot change their tense, nor they can show they or nor they can agree with the person or number of the subject. Okay. So they are not the main verb, and that is why they are not the main verb of a sentence and do not have a subject. So non-finite verb, they don't have a subject because they are not the main verb. They cannot change their tense. They cannot agree with the number of person or subject. For example, here you see, he loves talking. Here two verbs are there, one is love and one is talking. See here, S is used because it is agreeing with the number of subject. Singular subject S. So this is finite verb, but this talking is written in non-finite form. It cannot change its tense. You can change the tense of love, but you cannot change the tense of talking. Okay, he loves talking, so talking is non-finite. Some people love talking. So see, again according to the number of the subject, S get removed, but this remains the same. I too love talking to anyone. Here also again with I we cannot use S, so S get removed, but see talking will remain the same. It means this never changed their tense according to the you can say never change their form according to the tense. Okay, so the repeated verb in each sentence is talking. Repeated verb, it is repeating. Other things are changing, S, es, without S, right? But this is remains the same. So but it is not a verb that suggests action. So this is not suggesting any action. The main verb in this sentence is love. We change form to agree with the person and number of the subject, like he loves, some people love, I love. So talking is here non-finite verb, which remain the same according to the whatever the tense it may be. Okay. Now there are three most important things to learn about non-finite verb. That the non-finite verb has three function: infinitive, gerund, and participle. So these three things we have to learn. Okay, non-finite are divided into three parts. One is infinitive, second is gerund, and third one is participle. Okay, so let's see what is these three terms. So first one is infinitive. Infinitive use the base form of the verb with or without to. Okay, so I will tell you what is this. They do not change form with person or number and do not show tense. So infinitive, as it is finite verb, so it will work the same, that is it will not show tense, it will not change its form according to the number of person or number of subject. Infinitive are most commonly used with or without to function as a noun in a sentence. Okay, so let me tell you what is infinitive here. Infinitive means to plus base form of the verb, like to love, to play, to write, to run. Okay, so whenever you will write infinitive in a sentence, it work as a noun. Maybe it is made up of to plus verb, but when you write this infinitive in a sentence, it function as a noun in a sentence. Okay, for example, to run is good for health. Now to run, maybe it is made up of to plus verb. Okay, to plus verb, but when you use this in a sentence, it is working as a main subject noun. To run is good for health. So I'm talking about a topic. About what topic? To run. So this is a noun. Okay, so sometime infinitive is used with to or without to also. Without to also. With to also and without to also. Okay, so let's see. We like to read. Okay, Jaya wanted to study abroad. They are leaving to catch a flight. See here, whenever you will use finite verb, those non-finite verb always need a finite verb to complete its meaning. We like to read. Okay, here we like to read. Like is the main verb, which is called finite, and to read is non-finite. Okay, if you remove this finite verb, we to read, so the sentence is incomplete. It means non-finite verb cannot make a sentence meaningful alone. It need a finite verb to make its sentence meaningful. Jaya wanted to study abroad. Wanted is a main verb which is changing its tense. Yes, but it is remaining the same. To study, to plus base form. They are leaving to catch a flight. Are leaving. Are leaving is written in are leaving is written in present continuous means it is changing its tense, but it is remaining the same. Okay, whatever the change, whatever the tense, it may be present, past or future, this non finite verb will remain the same. So in this example, to read, to study and to catch are infinitive. Okay, which will not change their tense according to the need of the sentence. Okay, now let's see about the infinitive that is given. That infinitive has two form, that is one you can write with to and one you can write without to. So without to are called bare infinitive. Okay, with to is called infinitive, and if you're writing infinitive without using the preposition to, that will be called bare infinitive. Okay, so to, I think you have got this one, we have discussed, I have written in my copy, I have discussed. Without to, when you can use infinitive without to. Infinitive without to are also called bare infinitive. So see here, bare infinitive. Okay, and it is used after modal verb. It is used after modal verbs such as can, could, may, might, shall, will, should and must. So see here, you can cook this. Instead of to cook, I can write cook, bare infinitive. So can is modal verb. After modal verb, we have to use bare infinitive. You should make it yourself. I may not help you. So these are modal verb, and after modal verb, if we are using infinitive, it should be bare infinitive. Okay, that is without to. Okay, so did you get this? Now next, see number B, underline the infinitive. So I think all of you got it. So somewhere you will get bare infinitive, somewhere you will get to plus infinitive. Like Krish and I want to go skiing this winter. To go is infinitive. My sister began to unpack her gift. To unpack is infinitive. The scientists might find life on Mars. So might is there, it means modal verb is there. So after modal verb you will get bare infinitive. So find is infinitive. Okay, so if to is missing, then find out which one is here modal verb. After the modal verb, whatever the verb you will get, that will be infinitive, that is bare infinitive. Okay, so what we learned, that infinitive is made up of to plus base form of the verb, and it work as a noun in a sentence. Now let's move to the another easy part of non-finite, that is gerund. So let's see next gerund. It is also easy. Gerund are the ing form of the verb. Gerund function as a noun in a sentence. Okay, gerund are made up of ing form of the verb, and gerund function as a noun in a sentence. They can also function as subject, direct object, indirect object, and object of the preposition. So about this you will get in this three example. Okay, so let me tell you in short that gerund is made up of verb plus ing. Okay, for example, swim plus ing will be swimming. Sorry, run plus ing will be running. So it is gerund, and it will be gerund when this word will not work as verb, this word will work as noun, then only it will be called as gerund. Okay, so gerund function as a noun, subject, direct object, indirect object, and object of the preposition. So this is the these are the functions of gerund. So let's see the example. Swing is my grandmother's hobby. Now sew plus ing, swing, it is verb, okay, which is made up of ing, but this is not working here as a verb, it is working here as a subject, noun. We like reading, it is made up of read plus ing, that is verb plus ing, but it is not working like a verb, it is working like an object of the verb like. We like what? We like reading. They stood out for collecting fund. It is also made up of collect plus ing, verb plus ing, but it is working as a object of the preposition, for collecting, object of the preposition. So in this way gerunds work. Okay, so this is all about gerund. Let's see number C. I will answer after reading the lesson. So reading here, ing reading here is gerund. They have started running every day. Running here is gerund. So here it is working as object of the preposition. Here it is object. Okay, direct object. I am enjoying listening to me. So listening is gerund. So here it is working as object. Solving this case will be difficult. Solving, it is working as subject. Okay, so this is all about gerund. Let's see participle. Participle is again easy, very easy. So participle are the ing, that is present participle, or and the d, ed or t or en or past participle form of the verb that function as an adjective in a sentence. So understood, not understood? Okay, let's see. So participle is made up of verb plus ing, which is called present participle, or it is made up of verb plus ed or en or d or t. Okay, so I have not here written d or t, which come under past participle. And participle, which is made up of verb plus ing, verb plus ed, nt or ted, it function as adjective. Adjective means describing word. Okay, so let's see example. I saw a shooting star. Verb plus ing means present participle. Now shooting star is an adjective which is describing the noun star. Okay, the barking dog scared me. Bark plus ing, present participle. So it is describing the noun dog, that is barking. We ate roasted peanuts on the beach. Now peanut is a noun and roasted is participle, which is made up of ed, that is past participle, and it is working as adjective. Okay, broken toys were lying around everywhere. Broken toys, so this is describing the noun toys. Okay, and it is made up of en. Okay, so this is working as an adjective. So participle work as an adjective. Okay, gerund work as a noun, subject, direct object, object of the preposition, and infinitive work as a noun in a sentence. Okay, I will explain three example from D, E, F, GH. Important. These all are important. Underline the participle in each of this sentence. Identify it as present or past participle. Present means if verb plus ing, then present. If verb plus ed, en, d or t, then it will be past. Mother served us a baked dish. So baked, it is participle, but it is past participle because here ed. Tommy looked frightened by the noise. Frightened, it is participle, okay, and it is past participle. The heated iron burned the cloth. Heated, ed, so it is past. Plucking flower destroy the beauty of the garden. Plucking, it is participle, but it is ing, so it is present participle. So in this way you have to do number D. Let's move to number E. Identify whether the highlighted non-finite form is functioning as noun or an adjective in a sentence. So this highlighting word are working as noun or adjective, you have to find out. So noun means all of you know what is noun. Adjective means describing word. The dog jumped off the running train. So it is describing, running is describing the train. So it is adjective. My sister goes skiing every winter. So skiing, where she goes for skiing. So it is a noun, object noun. Walling, walling wolves at night woke us up. Walling wolves, it is describing wolves, so it is working as adjective. So in this way you have to do the rest. Next is number F. Number F, rewrite this sentence using the infinitive form to replace the gerund in bold. The first one has been done for you. So you have to write this infinitive, you have to change this gerund. Yeah, you have to change this gerund into infinitive form. So infinitive form, I think all of you got, that is to plus base form of the verb. For example, Shreya tried convincing him to participate in the debate. So you have to change convincing. So it will be to convince. So Shreya tried to convince him to participate in the debate. So it is very easy. My parents like getting up early in the morning. So the getting up, the infinitive form of getting up will be to get up. Okay, so my parents like to get up early in the morning. Next, see number 3, how to do. The baby started crying because it was hungry. So the infinitive form of cry is to cry. The baby started to cry because it was hungry. So try the rest. Okay, next, number G. you have to identify and write one finite and one non-finite verb in from each of the sentence. Means in this sentence finite verb is also there and non-finite verb is also there. You have to identify and write it separately. The flowing river made a musical sound. So here the flowing river, this flowing river, which is used here as participle. Okay, so this is non-finite verb. Made, it is changing its tense. Make changes to made, so it is finite. So here made comes under finite, non-finite, flowing. Recycled paper has been used to make the plates. Here recycled here is again using as participle, means non-finite. It is non-finite. Has been used, it is changing, is this one has changed its tense, so has been used here finite. We are going to the library to study. To study is this infinitive form, so it is non-finite, and are going, which is changing its tense, it come under finite. So try to do the rest by your own. Next, number H. Complete this sentence using the correct non-finite form of the verb in the bracket. So whatever is given in the bracket, you have to change it into proper non-finite form. Means you have to change, you have to change it in infinitive, if you have to change in gerund or participle, which will suit the sentence. Exercise in fresh air makes the lungs function better. So exercising means here noun is needed, and noun you will get in gerund, right? The painter decided paint the tree trunk, so to paint. Solving this maths equation has been a tough task. So in this way, do number H. So here lots of examples are there for you to do. Please try to do by your own. Okay. So for today this much, and in this chapter also finish. So thank you.